Hey, deserving listeners, it's time to watch 90 Day Fiancé. As I always say, don't use YouTube as a replacement for therapy. If you need a therapist, get one. You deserve it. Let's watch the show.
You know, we don't even have plates for guests, you know?
Yeah, I'm gonna get
This
these.
is for alcohol.
Perfect, that's what I'm getting. I would love to get a set of these. I may need something else. Let me go keep wandering around here.
So, I feel bad for the two of them. He has this way of reacting to her badgering about his alcohol where he's like, yeah, that's me drinking a beer. Yeah, that's, you know, it's his way of coping with the situation. I think he feels trapped. I think on one level he wants to say, hey, back off about the alcohol thing. I don't drink that much. I don't know how much he drinks. But even if he drank a lot, it's his life. But anyway, I think that when she badgers him about drinking, he feels trapped, and the way that he copes with it is like, yeah, I'm just gonna push forward, and maybe hopefully one day she stops saying those things. I get that feeling that that's his approach to it. A different approach is to sit her down, not hear her, but say, hey, honey, I know that you don't like that I drink, and I know that you don't drink, and that's totally fine. But I have to say, you know, I like having a drink every now and then. And I get that it's not the healthiest thing. I totally understand that. But I like to relax, and it helps me to relax. I like the taste. And I'm here to tell you, I'm not going to give it up. It's something that I like to do. And I would just love it if you were okay with the way that I live my life. It's a general vibe that I get between the two of us, that you just don't like the way I live my life. And I'm willing to change some things, like I was willing to go vegetarian, you know, every other week. But I just don't want to give this up. It's a big deal to me. And I get this feeling like you think that if you keep badgering me about it, I'm going to change. I decided a long time ago, I'm not going to change. I thought about it. As you were telling me that you didn't, I thought, well, should I? And I thought, you know what? No, I like having a drink every now and then. I like having a beer every now and then. And so it really hurts my feelings when I get this vibe that you just disapprove of the way I'm living, and that you seem to be making all these forceful decisions for me. And so, you know, feel free to tell me how you feel, but not when we're at the store and not when I'm getting a beer out of the fridge. I just want to have a beer and relax. And is that okay? Could you do that for me, please? So that's one way of communicating how you feel, putting yourself out there. I don't know if the two of them have had conversations like that.
I feel like still me and Mike are not on the same page of planning the wedding, and he's not responding. I have like this thought that maybe he doesn't want it all. It's like he doesn't want it.
And obviously with a much bigger topic, which is the wedding, also no communication about what's going on inside his mind in particular. It's a mystery. He seems to be giving off a pretty clear message non-verbally that he is not interested in getting married to her. You would think that if someone was really interested in getting married, then they would participate in all the conversations and like, yes, I can't wait to get married. That's usually what you're looking for, right? You're looking for two people who can't wait to get married to each other, or who are at least on the same page, and there's a back and forth on this. But he is just not participating, and I think what he's hoping is that she will get the picture and just drift away. I think he's avoiding having a conversation where he's like, I'm only 50% sure that I want to marry you, and I need more time here. I don't really know. And I think he isn't used to having those kinds of conversations, and I think he predicts it will go very badly, and so he just avoids the whole thing. That's just a guess, though. I don't know. Maybe deep down he totally wants to get married, and he's just very quiet. Who knows?
No flowers, no dress. We have nothing. We have nothing like at all. I think we should sit and talk and start planning it.
It's a thought, yeah. I'm not really ready to start planning, but I think we have more to work on.
Yikes. Mike, for the love of God, be direct. So let's rewatch this scene, because there's so much condensed in this little scene. Let's rewatch it, because so she's like, I think, you know, I'm just stressed out. We don't have any of the things for the wedding. I think we need to sit down and plan it out. And then he says, okay. And then she's like, yay, and hugs him. She's thinking, yes, we're on the same page. We're going to work out the wedding. It's going to happen. And he says, well, I'm not really ready to plan it. There's a lot of things to work on. I think when he's saying that, he's saying, I don't know if I want to marry you. I'm pretty sure I don't want to marry you unless you change who you are, unless you change the way you treat me all the time, including what you just did to me about getting decanters for alcohol. I'm guessing that's what's going through his mind, but he doesn't say that. He has these phrases that he says, we need to work on things, and I'm not ready, maybe soon, these kinds of things, very passive statements.
I'm not really ready to start planning, but I think we have more to work on. I think we have to work on other things before we plan a wedding 100%.
Okay, I think she heard that loud and clear by that face. I think she's like, oh, wait, so what is he saying?
I love Natalie. I just can't pull the trigger. Marriage is a big step, and I'm not just gonna rush into it. Like, I'm not trying to be a about it or nothing, but I mean, when I try to express my feelings towards it, she takes offense to it.
You're not expressing your feelings. You're expressing very passive statements about your feelings. If you were to sit her down and say, I love you a lot and I like you a lot, but there's a lot of problems that we have. We have a lot of conflict. Some of the things you say to me, it hurts my feelings. And I don't know what to say back to you because I don't know if you're going to get defensive, and I don't know. And these are the reasons, the bad side of our relationship that we've had over a time, including you giving me the ring back and throwing it in my bag. I'm still hurt by that, by the way. Makes me uncertain as to whether or not we're made for each other, and I need more time. I definitely want to see if you and I are good for each other, but I don't want to get married soon. This 90-day thing, like, it's not enough time for me. I think we need to return back to dating each other again. That's what I would like. Okay. I'm guessing that's how he feels based on what he's been saying. But that's not what he's saying. And I say this sometimes, that it's very common when I would see a couple on my couch and they'd be telling me about a fight that they had. And then they would say, all I was saying was how I felt. I was just telling her how I felt, and she didn't like what I had to say. And I'll say, okay, what did you say in the moment? And then they'll proceed to say something like what Mike just said right here, which is, well, I don't know if I'm ready to plan the wedding, and there's a lot of things to work out. And then that's it. And I'll say, okay, where in there was any statement about how you felt, like in terms of emotions? You're giving a little bit of information, I suppose, but you're not saying the full picture. Presumably he has a lot of feelings and emotions and experiences. Now, why would he not say it? Well, it's probably from relational traumas related to emotions and expression. All of us have been through experiences like this to some degree, where we're vulnerable, where we cry or we're upset or even joyful, and someone will slap us down emotionally, maybe even physically. And we learn, oh, my spontaneous emotions are not okay. Some people are really treated that way, particularly boys. Boys, when they cry, are told you can't cry. When boys are scared, they're said, you got to man up. And so boys learn more than girls. Girls learn it too, on average, to not feel their feelings, not express their feelings. And so there's a lot of reasons why people feel like they're telling someone how they feel, but they're not really telling someone how they feel.
I don't even really want a wedding. I just want to get married. If we get married and have a wedding later on down the road, it's too much to try to plan a whole wedding and us to get to know each other and everything else.
Wait, what? So now he's saying, okay, I do want to get married, but I don't want a wedding. That's a surprise. That's interesting. Let me rewind that. Is that what you just said?
I don't even really want a wedding. I just want to get married. If we get married and have a wedding later on down the road, it's too much to try to plan a whole wedding and us to get to know each other and everything else.
Oh, I don't know if this, so there's two possibilities here, and I have no idea which one it is. There's probably others, obviously. One is that it is what he just said. I want to get married, and I want to be married to you. I want to be husband and wife. But a wedding, I don't know. There's just a lot to plan for that in a short amount of time. Okay. I think she would be on board with that because I think she does want to get married. I think that's her primary thing. I think the wedding is secondary to the actual getting married part. I think that's an important symbol of his love for her. So that's one possibility. The other possibility, and I hate to say this, is that he's saying, well, if we plan a wedding, that means I have to invest money, and we have to make reservations, and we have to, buy airplane tickets, and I have to commit to other people. And I don't know if I want to marry her. But if I say, well, maybe in a few weeks, or maybe, I don't know how long they have, maybe down the line, we'll just get married real quick, and we'll do a small little ceremony at the courthouse, and we'll get married that way. Because in his head, he's thinking, I can pull the ripcord on that at any point up until then. And I don't have to pay a lot of money or make a lot of commitments to people as we get closer to that date. And if even the day before I'm like, nope, I don't want to get married, then there's not as many consequences. There's big consequences, obviously, but not as many consequences to your checkbook and to other people if that's the case. I hate to say that, but given what he's saying, it seems like that would be more consistent, because he's giving a lot of messages that he doesn't want to be with her. So why would he say, well, I don't want to plan a wedding, but I definitely want to get married? It's just an interesting dissonance there.
So your idea is just to go sign papers, that's all, no wedding?
We can have a small ceremony. I know you want your mom there.
Okay, then we have to plan this ceremony, correct? And for the plan this ceremony, I need to understand our budget. I need to understand how many people are going to be there. And for this, we have to plan.
Yeah, so, she's being rational, and you see his face. Is that the face of an enthusiastic husband to be? That is the face of someone like, crap, I'm trapped. I don't know. That's just my interpretation, and I could be projecting, I could be reading into that, it could be distorting. There's really no way to know. One of the nice things about becoming a therapist is you spend a lot of time reflecting on your bias, and you just always know, you just drill it into your head through a lot of education, supervision, consultation, contemplation, that pretty much all the time I'm seeing things through a particular lens, as you all know, because you have a different lens than me, or at least slightly different, and you see things different from me, and that's okay. That's your life, that's my life, that's our lens, and we all have that. So I don't know if I'm just seeing things when I see them. Let me know in the comments below.
There are a lot of details, and even for simple stuff, even for small wedding. My mom is waiting for invitation for wedding, and I realize that clock is ticking, and we have white page, nothing.
I'm done. Let's go. This is terrible. I'm not going to stand here in the store and debate this stuff. Let's go.
Interesting. I mean, they did go into this store because she wanted some potpourri for the closet, but still, it's just an interesting dynamic between the two of them. And it's just more of the same, where they don't really tell each other how they feel, and they don't really level with each other, including her. She could say, honey, I'm getting a lot of messages from you that you don't want to get married. And if you don't, then just tell me. Or if you're on the fence, like if there's a percentage thing here, let me know, because I want to know. It might hurt my feelings, but I'd rather know where I stand than get you saying some things and then giving me these other kinds of messages. And it's okay. I don't want to scare you. I don't want to, cause you to turtle back into your shell here. I'm here to listen, and I'm not going to punish you. And I know I've done that in the past, but I want to know, because I need to know what's going on here. And if there is a path forward in terms of us going further into our relationship, I need to know what that is. Let me know, please. Or another thing that she could say is, I'm alone in a weird country, in a weird house, and I feel like you're not being nice to me, you're not leveling with me, and I'm getting a lot of weird messages, and it freaks me out, and I'm scared, and I don't know what's happening. I don't know if it's you, I don't know if it's me, I don't know if it's us, but what is happening here? Can we please just be honest with each other? That would be another approach that she would have, but they just never do that. They have these little exchanges, they get hurt, and then they retreat seemingly.
When Michael doesn't feel like talking about planning our wedding, I feel that I might not have wedding at all. And I think it's going to be a huge setup for me if he all of a sudden tells me he's not marrying me. I just feel like I'm like falling.
If you want to comment below, that would be cool. I always love hearing your thoughts. And if you're in the comment section, make sure you support each other. I see a lot of you being nice to each other and bouncing off of each other in really great ways. And everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.